Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to week 5 of the H Report. 8 p.m. Iman vs Ikhlas. Iman, who got shut out last week 0-3 vs Reda, made some big moves between week 4 and 5. They first traded Idris Deen for Adil Awan from Sabur, but then traded Adil to Isan for RF Khan. Should be noted that all three players were drafted in the third round for each of their respective teams, but due to the way the number of trades were happening prior to the draft, it looks a little bit wonky if you were to look at the actual draft order. Now, Iman, now landing RF Khan, who is still in recovery from pneumonia that he had from a couple of weeks ago, is an all-around solid player with hockey smarts, so it is a good pickup that they got. The cash-in value that's going to come from having RF Khan in the lineup will be later on in the season when he fully recovers, and that hopefully Iman is still in striking distance to make the playoffs. Impressively, although the team was shut out, this is one of Ahmed Mobeen's best games as a goaltender. Mobeen made some impressive saves that stopped this game from becoming an absolute blowout. Speaking of blowout, Salman Azad blew out his ankle. This may slow down the process of him handing out the invitations to the Iceland community for his wedding this summer, so stay tuned on that one. Ikhlas won last week 5-1 over Isan. An impressive win marred by poor sportsmanship from both teams. And this is a good time to remind everyone that Iceland is a brotherhood league and that although emotions can run high when playing in the moment, it should not get to the point where you're throwing fists or donkey kicks at one another. Zubair Wahid led the charge with 3 points from the team, and goalie Imran Alvi probably felt bored at times as he was only faced with 13 shots. Nonetheless, he kept composure and was solid in net. In terms of who will win this, Iman might still be in an adjustment phase, and Ikhlas should capitalize on this, so we should see the win go to Ikhlas this Friday. 9 p.m. Isan vs Sabur. Isan embarrassingly lost 5-1 to Ikhlas last week. All three GMs from Isan had received penalties during the game. You know the world has turned upside down when Razi Ahmed had the least amount of penalties amongst the GM trio. No excuses for a loss like that. The team should learn to keep a cool head and learn to keep their emotions in check, which will be difficult to do as former Sabur player Adil Awan will be facing his old team. The good news is that Sabur finally ended their tying streak. The bad news is that it came at a 3-2 loss to Shukr. Sabur has been marred with drama since the season started. The team thought to go far and has been winless, and we are almost halfway done the season. To add to the drama, former Sabur player Adil Awan will be facing his former team and best friend Waqar Khan. Many feel that Adil must be feeling a giant sense of betrayal from the trade that happened. Although rumor mill is circulating that maybe the trade happened because Adil spoke against the GM trio. Maybe he was defending the team against a poor start and instead was punished. Whatever the reason, it's hard to imagine the mindset of both players heading into this Friday. Luckily, the H Report had a good feel as to how both players must be feeling.
Once I called you brother, once I thought the chance to make you laugh was all I ever wanted. And even now, I wish that God had chose another. Serving as your foe on his behalf is the last thing that I wanted. This was my home. All this pain and devastation, how it tortures me inside. All the innocent who suffer from your stubbornness and pride.
This game looks like it'll end up with a tie, with both teams feeling like they were cheated out of a win. But perhaps Vasim Kagzi from Sabur, who had 1 assist last week, can start working to become a regular point producer for the team and edge the game in their favor. 10 p.m. Shukr vs Haya. Shukr with an impressive 3-2 win over Sabur. Zaid and Irfan both locking in 2 points, Irfan with a point streak going on since the week before. This team has more twists and turns than Wonderland's Top Gun ride. One day they pull out an impressive win, but in other weeks they get blown out the waters from Yakin. So it's hard to say what type of team we'll be seeing this Friday. Haya with a surprising comeback to secure a 4-4 tie against Yakin. Goalie Fahad is probably thankful for that, as it did not look like he was playing his best game of the season. Lucky, brother Maz stepped up big as he was instrumental in all 4 goals scored by Haya to secure the tie. The GM trio for this team have been locking in multi-point games, so Shukr should make sure to lock down the 3 of them. Even then, you still have Dawood and Sulman, who also have secured multiple points last week to watch out for. Shukr is more volatile than the yo-yo I was given on my 6th birthday, but I believe they will be able to secure a tie game against Haya over here. 11 p.m. Yakin vs. Rida. Yakin blowing an impressive lead, tied high at 4-4. What's worse than blowing an impressive lead and ending the game in a tie? Well, it's having your GM lose their cool and yell at the team so that the rest of the league could hear it. I understood the pain and frustration that the rest of Yakin was going through in that moment, as the scene provided flashbacks to the time my own parents would yell at me in public 2 days ago. It's not a matter of the team not producing, it's asking the team to play the full 30 minutes to close out games, and that's going to be needed against this next team. Rida shut out Iman 3-0. The team has been clicking on all cylinders as they seem to be the only team that looks to be having fun while playing hockey. It's rare to see people laugh and have fun while playing hockey, but Rida manages to find a way to do so. It's like they think that this is some sort of recreational sport that you play once a week with your friends for fun. And I don't know where they got this ridiculous idea from, but it's that momentum that's going to ensure that they remain the team to beat when it comes to holding the Iceland Cup this year. Yakin, I believe, will start off strong, but Rida's speed will wear out Yakin and lock in the victory. Alright, thanks for listening for this week's H Report, and we'll see you this Friday.